Hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Alex Miller, financial wellness advocate here at Kerberos Wealth Management, and also the author of our Beautifully Frugal blog. And this month, I'm so excited to share some insight from another one of our advisors on our team, Mike Stecker. Mike has more than 15 years of experience in the financial service industry, providing individuals and businesses with financial planning, portfolio construction, succession planning, and he also works very closely with our accountants to mitigate your taxes. With the large range of services that Kerberos offers, Mike feels as though we can devise and execute a plan for any type of client, large or small. And he has so graciously agreed to be interviewed on this month's edition of our Beautifully Frugal blog. So welcome, Mike. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be here.
Thank you for having me.
My first question to you is, what made you interested in becoming a financial advisor?
So for me, becoming a financial advisor is about making a long-term difference in people's lives. I was driven by the idea that I can help people build financial security and plan for a successful future. And I really do love the idea of becoming a trusted partner on their journey.
Oh my gosh, yes. We're with our clients for the long haul. And I love that you pointed out being a trusted partner in their financial journey because it is their journey. And we just get the honor of walking alongside of them, right?
Absolutely.
My next question is, what do clients value most in your experience?
In my experience, I think that when I work with clients, I'm very transparent with them, and my ability just to communicate a complex financial concept in a clear, understandable way. A lot of clients, they are complex. Everybody has a different story. People think that they're the same, but everybody is a little bit different. And being trusted or building trust with them is a top priority with me. I like to make sure that they feel comfortable because this is their life savings that we're dealing with here, right? Every single person, large or small, it doesn't matter. And I think that they appreciate the time that I take the time to listen to them, hear their concerns, celebrate their goals. If one of their goals is to buy a new camper or to retire, whatever it may be. I love that. There's nothing that brings me greater joy actually is when people call me up and, hey, Mike, I need $50,000. We're gonna buy that camper. So I'd like that. And another thing that I really, really convey to my clients is that it's an open communication, right? So if they have a little question, a big question, if their grandson wins a state championship in wrestling, I want them to call me, kind of let me know how it goes. I feel I bring it down to a personal level with each and every one of them.
I love that. We all do have such a personal relationship with all of our clients, and our team really does a good job at providing an educational approach. And they really do value that because more often than not, they want to learn and they want to understand, which all ties in with our investment philosophy because our entire team believes in the educational approach. So you've been a great add on. You specialize specifically in working closely with accountants. Can you tell us a little bit more about that value add?
Yes, that is a big advantage for us. Because people, again, their situations are complex, and we can offer up the best ETF or stock or whatever it may be for them. But when you bring an accountant in, the accountants have an in-depth knowledge of their actual tax situation. And by bringing them in, we can work together to create strategies to mitigate the tax liabilities while maximizing the wealth building opportunities that they may have out there for them. So it's terrific when I'm in a meeting and then the clients are in there and then their accountant is in there with us as well. They can pull up their tax situation on the screen and, oh, what if we do this? What if we do that? This is how it's going to negatively or positively impact their particular situation.
I love that. Many people often confuse accountants with investment advisors, which is understandable, right? But the truth is, our roles are so different. Accountants focus more on analyzing clients' tax situations, where wealth advisors design investment strategies. But when we collaborate, which I'm sure you've seen in a lot of your meetings, we can truly offer our clients a comprehensive one-stop solution for managing their finances. I love
Absolutely.
that. I love that. Next question is, what has been your biggest challenge during your career?
That's easy. 2008. That was the first year that I started. I started right in the middle of the Great Recession. So the housing crash, whatever you want to call that. Luckily, I didn't have a whole lot of clients at that time, so there weren't a lot of people that were upset with me. Um, and I often joke with clients that I still have from that once they actually did start moving their money to me, it only went up since then. So, and it was, but with challenges come opportunities. A lot of the advisors that I had heard went into hiding at that time because their clients' accounts were down
Right,
40%. And I was proactively reaching out to them because I didn't have very many clients at that time.
right.
So that was a challenge.
I can imagine. I'm going to follow that up with what are the most common financial mistakes that you see since you've been working in the industry for 14 years or over 15 years now?
I think it's the distribution phase of retirement or just, the tax planning, being efficient with that. I often tell my clients that I do not make them rich. Um, when they come to me, we're either starting off or they have their money, they have their assets already. And there's not a lot that I can do, but what we can do is be how do we say this? Just be efficient in the way that we take money out because there are a lot of ways that you can make a mistake doing that. Although it's nothing that, that's detrimental to their portfolio. Our job, I believe, is to give them a longer timeline with how long their money lasts in their life.
Right. And our team is a software now that we use for our clients, and our financial planning team does an amazing job of ensuring that our clients are taking out distributions in the most tax efficient manner. And many people don't realize how crucial this aspect is when it comes to retirement planning. My next question is going to be a little bit more fun, a little bit more personable. What is your biggest passion outside of work?
So I have an 8-year-old son. We spend a ton of time together exploring Wisconsin and the Midwest. So I really like getting out with him. I coach his soccer team, participate a bit in baseball. I'm not much of a baseball guy, but I get out there. So I think it's just spending time with him and, just being outdoors, is our big thing.
I love that. Your son is so cute, by the way. I know that you've shared pictures with us before, but I'm sorry. You said you're not into baseball, but I'm pretty sure on one of our team calls you've mentioned that you play soccer with your son and you're a soccer coach. What's that like?
So I do play men's league yet. I'm the oldest guy out there, but I can still rock it. I'm all right with that. A couple, cracked ribs and we get a few injuries later on in life like this. But coaching is fun. It's a challenge. I'm much more patient than I was before I started coaching. So you get the kids out there that are doing cartwheels and everything else, but now he's getting to 8 and it's getting a little bit better with that.
Listen, I've had a daughter in soccer before, and that was back when she was really, really little, and she was more interested in the flowers growing on the field than kicking the soccer ball in the goal. So you must have a
Yeah.
lot of patience.
Yeah, herding cats, I think was, is a term thrown around quite often there. So, but it's
Oh my
fun.
gosh. I love that. So you've also, I'm going to dial it back here. You have the unique perspective of working at other firms prior to joining Kerber Rose. What do you believe sets our team apart from other firms now that you've been with us for a couple years?
It's certainly the one team approach or the one firm approach that we have. No question about it. Um, Going back to what we were talking about, having a CPA in the room, we also do payroll. We also do marketing. There's a lot of very highly skilled individuals that are our colleagues that we're lucky enough to have working with us. And there's not one of them that I wouldn't want in a meeting with me. So if you can have your advisor, your accountant, your payroll person, and somebody from marketing. I mean, it's a win-win for our client. And they always do come first with us. So, there's we'll always take time out of our day, if somebody else needs a hand with it. So that's another big reason why I think that we're above and beyond, other places is that if there's an accountant next to me and I have a simple question to ask them, they'll stop what they're doing and they'll answer it for me,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
I just
Or even a
recently
wealth
did.
question.
I'm sorry, what?
Or even a wealth question. If I have
Yeah.
a question on something, you know that too. We can reach out to any of our colleagues and they will take the time and, sit down and we'll discuss it thoroughly.
Yeah. I just recently did a presentation on our one firm concept and when it all started with Kerberos. And you're right, there's really not many places where you can have a CPA working alongside wealth advisors, working alongside payroll, et cetera. But I think we do it really well.
Yeah.
And the history of Kerberos, started back even before I started working here. And I think it's important to note before I ask you my last question, back in 2014, Kerberos got into business because they were identifying mistakes that people were making when they're filing their taxes inside their investment accounts. And when it comes to investment management, there's really only two ways to run a business, right? One's commission based and the other one's fiduciary based. And Kerberos could have easily chosen to be commission based, but instead they decided to become a registered investment advisor and be a fiduciary. So my last question to you is what does fiduciary responsibility mean to you?
First and foremost, it's putting our clients' best interests first. You had mentioned that there are no commissions here, so we don't have that commission hanging over our head or anything like that. It's about being transparent, um, honest about risks that they may be taking, avoiding conflicts of interest, and just making sure that every recommendation that I make is for the client and not for myself. Um, Going back, this is about building trust with the clients and just ensuring that their financial future is in good hands. And that, again, they always come first and we're here for them. We educate ourselves to make sure that we're making good decisions on their behalf,
Right?
because they are trusting us with everything.
I love that. I believe we have a really great team here. And that is one of my favorite questions to ask all of our advisors when I've interviewed them in the past. And they all answer it very uniquely and very personable to them, what that means. But we
Mhm.
all have the same underlying belief that it is our number one goal to put the client's interests first at all times. So I love that. Well, thank you so much, Mike, for taking time out of your day to be featured on this month's Beautifully Frugal blog. If anyone here wants to reach out to Mike, I know that he would love to speak with you and help you achieve your financial goals. And you can do that via email, and I will leave all of his contact information below. Thank you so much for joining me on this Meet Your Advisor edition of our Beautifully Frugal blog this month. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Alex. Have a great day.
Thank you.